Greetings, I am Live.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Whee!
Alright, so I'm going to take half a second here and say I really like playing games with my friend.
Ah.
Like, I like having all of you, or the one of you, here, as I recognize that you are on the other side of the screen watching us do this, or
Yes.
listening to us do this, and that's super cool. But I want to say that I genuinely have fun doing this with my friend, and this is super cool that we get to.
It is very true.
It's very
a
cool.
good time.
Alright, we're going to...
Sorry, this was completely unprepared. I'm a little bit
Regina,
I'm surprised.
About Nightingale. I did
Let's do
not
it.
plan that. I just felt the feels. So there it is. All right, anyway.
Okay.
Hey, how did Nightingale become a spy anyway? I started on book 9, and backstories like sprinkled in everywhere. Do you have to read like all 26 to figure out like a timeline? Is there a timeline? Does someone timeline it online? Wonder if she has notes somewhere else. Did I even go through the basement of this place? Oh my god, when Larry got locked in the wine cellar, I didn't even look at any of the boxes down there.
Hi.
We assume the house is perfectly empty when we get there.
Honestly, it's a little weird.
What happened to all of her stuff in her estate? Honestly, we sold off every personal effect she had. Or, Mr. Jones took it all home, period.
Right.
Entirety of all of her possessions. Boink! I can't move in my small house, but it's beautifully organized. It's fine. I papered the walls with her life.
Either that or, again, what he did is he took things that he liked and then other things he put in storage. And then he organized and put in storage or something like that. Or maybe it was a process kind of like of him going... Because, again, we don't know what happened to Aunt Mary in her last...
It's true, but I mean, she inherits you the entire estate.
I always feel like it's so morbid when you're talking about characters that die.
About her last experience, during her last days, in her decline or sudden death. How did she die? I really want to know. And also,
honestly,
again,
I'm going to actually say that, guys, since sometimes it really does happen, and I know this might be a little bit, said, but, really... I know, I've seen people talk about it, and I think it's really important. Take pictures of yourself and your friends.
And your
you
family.
never know if that is going to be the last time that you will see someone. I
Yes.
don't want to say that you will then die. I don't want to encourage that. I want to say let everybody live forever. Fuck that. Let's basically go on a crusade to basically beat death. Why not?
Right.
But the big thing is that I feel like it's really important to realize that what has selfie culture to me has done, and also the idea that everybody has a camera, you can literally document everything, and it's so fucking cool, and you'll be able to see moments that will never come back again.
and it actually really helps spark and jog memory. So a lot of people have a much better memory than they think. But when you need, when you get a trigger, all of those memories are still there. You just had no reason to use them.
Right.
So those photos can bring up things that you still remember completely. You just don't have any reason to pull that up. You're not going through your life day by day going, what do I remember that was cool and important? Because it's a massive amount of information. Your brain stores an incredible amount of information.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna play this story, but nostalgia trip right here. Do take pictures of each other, because you may have an experience where
if you're uncomfortable,
you want to remember something in your history.
I was going to say, and if you're uncomfortable, which I totally understand. I always had a personal thing with being I just don't like taking pictures of myself or having pictures of myself taken. I realized going you know what, though? Nobody else has to see them. That's not what that's for. They're not all pictures have to be for someone else. They literally can be just for you and the satisfaction of going, hey, this was a thing that I experienced and was a part of my life. And that's super awesome. And I have that now as that physical experience.
Yep.
And that's really cool. Do that for yourself, for each other. Now, please, always ask people, but also presenting to the case of going, hey, can you mind if just for my own personal records, and I promise, and please do keep your promises for this, of being especially when people ask that you don't, share, hold on to those pictures. Take
or
those
be
pictures.
I'd like a memory of who was here.
Yeah.
Just so I can remember who all was here. Can I have a picture of everyone?
Right.
Now, a lot of people are way more amenable to pictures when it's not, oh, let me capture you, you look so cute.
Right.
It's not about what they look like. It's about the event.
Right.
And I took a brief part-time job in photography at one point. I actually work at JCPenney Portrait Studios.
Aha.
It was the cheesiest, it's the only thing I ever did that was kind of like customer service, which is sort of funny for me.
Right.
And I'm going, they're like, you've never worked in customer service ever before? I'm like, nope, and never since. But that one was fun because it was artistic and it was interesting to work with people. But it was also one of those things of, I talked a lot of parents into getting into photos with their kids for the sake of going, you won't have any pictures of this time of your life together if you don't have at least one with you in it.
Right.
And it was really cool. It was it wasn't about, oh, you need to have a picture of you. It was about, you should have a record of maybe you in reference to the height of your child. Maybe you, how did you, just who were you in this moment?
Right.
That kind of thing. All right. So how did you become a spy anyway?
Oh, right. They don't get into that until a later novel.
Told you, backstories everywhere.
Well, she wanted to be a pilot in World War II, but they didn't let women fly in combat.
Oh, this isn't
So she, dot, 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 dot.
The Zoom is just
They're like,
intense.
wait a second.
Whew. Whew.
Isn't that what happened to your aunt?
That was such a good experience.
Ah!
So she just, hang on, that was a galaxy brain right there.
Oh,
That was connecting all the dots. So you have the conspiracy up on the wall, and suddenly fire lights up. All the lines
You know what
become
I like?
brilliant and relieved against it, and then you just have this bright fire burn through all the ones that connect.
Do you know what I actually really like, though?
Huh.
In this sense, they haven't really gone into... So, sometimes I find it to be frustrating, and sometimes I've caught myself definitely doing it. And it's a trained behavior, though, of going like, these women characters, they're too good at the things they do, they're too interesting, they're too
They're
fun.
not realistic. They're fantasy. They're wish fulfillment. They're
Right?
fantasy.
And you know, sometimes I really like, I don't want to stop anybody from like making games and stuff like this. Like, and sometimes I get concerned that I'm doing that because sometimes I've been critical of stuff. But I'm like, really, it comes down to it because I'm like,
So-
the Nightingale to me, the new series in this, sounds a lot like basically what was the 007 series.
Yeah, the James Bond series.
James Bond series, right? So what it is, for me, especially if like what I understand of that series, so much of that was basically sounding like heavy wish fulfillment. It's just like, I find it kind of disturbing as because of the level of basically like racism and violence against women and entitlement
misuse of people.
and misuse of people. Like, fine, and I get it. It's a made up thing. But then I'm like, it's super cool to have some story where they're like, yeah, and then we basically sort of seem to have some sort of like basically woman version of that,
And then
which
you-
is super badass, because I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you. What would women's ideal world look like? Everybody has a great time. The woman is super awesome and powerful, and she can beat the
So,
handsy pervert guy.
Recently, YouTube released Card Captor Sakura.
No, Netflix.
So Netflix.
Yeah,
Thank
there you
you.
go.
Not Netflix. I always get. They're both
That's okay.
red. They're both.
They
red.
are both red.
That's
It's so weird.
Dyslexic problems. You use shorthand all the time. They're both red. Okay. All right. So Netflix released Card Captor Sakura in their watch options, and I've been walking by while my friend's been watching it because I've had other priorities, not to mention editing. But at the same time, I just love her best friend's mom's bodyguard squad.
Right?
Like, you want to talk about like cool, like women wish fulfillment kind of like fantasy empowerment kind
Right.
of thing. But also, you could totally have a bodyguard squad like that.
Right?
And I'm just like, it was super fun to see them and be like, yes, this is great. Anyway, they look amazing. They are totally like girl gang bodyguard squad all the way. They look fabulous to the nines.
And also extremely professional and very capable, which is super cool. And they're like, this is what we're
What's
doing, and this is our
also
job.
really cool is the daughter of the woman who employs them, you know, her mother. She's like, I can command you and or direct you and or ask for your assistance in exactly the way an adult could. Drop me off here, come back for me when I call. Yes, we'll make sure the area is secure and safe, and then leave you because that's what you're doing. It's so great.
I love
Anyway,
it's super cool.
All right, so, but I was going to say, just really briefly in reference to this of going, there is a lot of our own biases coming through in reference to looking at fiction from other people of going,
It's true.
that can be realistic or not. My friend has often talked about an experience of basically doing a cis swap with characters and going, if it seems realistic for a man or if it seems realistic for a woman, does it still seem realistic if you swap it to the other gender?
Right.
And if it, I
Even
say
other.
loosely the other gender,
Right.
because non-binary, in my opinion, is a pool of genders with many, many performances.
Right.
There is not a non-binary gender. There is a giant pool of they aren't either the boy or the girl.
Right.
And that might not be how everyone sees their gender, so I'm not meaning to push that on you. But it's like, there isn't a male gender role, a female gender role, and a non-binary gender role. There are non-binaries. They are neither male or female, and they are whatever they are.
Right.
Anyway, and
Well, it can
so
be
in
very
that way,
Diverse, I guess? I don't know.
I would say I don't feel like there are assigned, like, boxed out roles, even as we assume there are for men and women, which, that's a whole other mess. But I was just going to say, it's really interesting sometimes to go, it's really cool to switch this to another gender, and, or in your binary, the other, you know, find out if you have basically prejudices or something.
Right.
If you go, yeah, this is super cool, I love the series with this man in the lead, or vice versa.
Right.
And then swap it, going, can you still love the series?
Right.
If it's a woman in the lead. Or, you know, if you took your favorite, you know, girl detective like Nancy Drew and made her a boy detective.
And especially though, also at least for me, like I've enjoyed using it just basically to call out, though, basically where we allow more or less men or women to perform, and where they're supposed to have good skills, right? Of where they're supposed to be capable, or where they're supposed to be, you know, particularly aware, or just an inherent somehow, you know, gender, you know, thing that came through in their life. Because I had the gender of the man ever since birth, this means that this has been an inherent part of my experience.
My gendernetic privilege.
Yes. Basically, yeah, like a genetic, basically, expectation that this is just inherently what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman. Somehow it comes through in your genetics, and I'm like, you have no idea what biology is, do you?
All right, here we go.
Aye.
What happened to your
What
aunt?
happened to your aunt?
Yeah?
Is there any chance that,
These are semi-autobiographical? What? That Aunt Mary was a spy?
Hey,
Yeah, right.
I
Another skill.
mean,
Hang on, we just switched to paintbrushes.
for some reason,
Oh,
do you have any paintbrushes laying around? This one is falling apart.
don't paint the wood, it's seriously damaged.
You need to not, like,
Even
replace
if
it.
you're not going to replace those giant pillars, okay? We're just into construction here. Also, I love how you have like 4 of them implied over here, or even 5,
Right.
and over here you only have 3.
The thing is
No,
for me...
look at this.
No, I know what you're talking about, but
Okay.
when I'm like, for me, that looks like it just snapped. Like it's literally buckling under its own weight, or like time has started to wear the front one out,
And
so
they're
it's been
gone.
snapping.
Under the
and I'm
way
like,
the other
that's
ones. And I'm just
terrifying.
I was like, even if you weren't going to replace them, if you were going to paint them, you would need to power wash them, and you'd want to treat them first, or, you know, before you do that. Like, you'd have to get all the crap out of them, or your paint's just going to peel right off.
Right?
Like, this is a thing of people going, I painted the wood, now all the paint's just sort of peeling out of it, just rippling, peeling off of it.
Right.
Like, I think that's because you didn't clean your wood first, so it's stuck to, the paint is stuck to that layer of grime in between the, you know, grains and on top of it.
Right?
So you don't need a paintbrush, your wood needs replaced.
I mean, honestly, that we got this far is
But also,
amazing.
like, over here again, like, there's no thingy here, there's no wood here.
Yep, now you're gonna have to leave before... Okay, I was like, oh god.
Oh, I bet you could find one in the oh, that's it. Oh, I bet you could find one in the
Because you just realized the studio is
It's
not available.
It's full of boys.
In the...
Stuff in the back of your truck. I don't really do painting, Lily.
Are you...
Hiding something? Having a brain thing? Probably.
Hi, Lily, dear, are you alright, honey?
Do you understand that I lie to you a lot because I'm insecure and I don't know how to control my life, and I'm very new at this independence thing?
I really am like, I don't want to say like that I like that Lily, basically what we started out with that she's damaged, but it also makes sense for me. And then again, I'm very frustrated of going like it doesn't feel like we approach it very well later on as the series keeps going. I'm not reading, hang on.
No, I know, I was just
I'll just go see what I have in the truck.
I kind of want to do it in like quotes. Go
see what I have in the truck. Great.
Yeah, I'm
excited.
Do that. I'm also like, I don't like it too. Like in the discussions about Lily's character having a lot of like complexities, but also like some inconsistencies, essentially of her going, I want approval and I'm going to dunk on you. Like, it's hard to get a handle on who they want Lily to be sometimes, other than deeply insecure, socially awkward, and, you know, also like playful, like sort of spirit at heart, who just really does want everyone to have a good time.
Right.
And then going, after that, when you get her relationship with essentially men and how she treats them, you know, afterwards of going, he doesn't even deserve to be called a dog, let's insult the dogs, and also currently interest of, yep, stinky boys. It's like, Lily, do you hate men? Like all men?
I honestly, okay, based off of what I've seen as far as I could tell, where she's just like, yeah, you know, I didn't have my dad in my life, and then also this thing, it would make sense that she has some unresolved issues. It's not
and
required.
that she may have tagged it to that gender.
Right?
To men.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to take that away from character development. It can be very interesting, but also in the way that we've mentioned of going like, we can't tell if this is supposed to be a thing or not. And granted, honestly, because people are real people, obviously not a character that's written by a person, especially where they're usually like, what I'm trying to do is just write a story, who the fuck cares?
Is different.
You know, we're obviously applying a certain lens to this. It's interesting to look at this though and go like, I don't know what you're going for, because to me, it's not really like you were trying to go for anything at all.
Well, I would say
Like what, the
again,
further
it
though
feels
that
like
this goes along, though, is
a
what
lot of it feels like you're not committing, and so it's like you want to have all these different components, but you're not fully committing to basically who Lily is as a person.
Well,
because ultimately, if I'm reading this the way I've just described,
right.
and it keeps going, what she's going to realize is either that 1, she needs to get therapy, 2, she needs to resolve her hatred of men, 3, she needs to like build herself up and work on her social skills, and 4, if she's going to ever have a relationship with another man, let alone Luke, she's going to have to really work on it very deliberately, and they're going to have to be involved in her healing process.
Right.
Not just, it will happen organically. And then, or what she's going to do is go, I have too much to unpack with men, it is too complicated with men, it is exhausting, I'm going to date women.
Yeah. Or date somebody who's non-binary. Again,
I'm going to not date men.
Yeah.
My bad. I assumed, and I maybe should not have, that there aren't non-binary individuals in this game, and I apologize deeply. So, all right, in the truck.
No, for sure.
That is a graphics like vibrating off away.
Hi.
Great! And keep clear of the studio. There's mold all over the place. Dangerous mold. That's really stupid, Lily.
It really is.
You guys fixed it up together. And
I'm also like,
if there's mold all over the place, then it won't pass inspection anymore. You won't get to keep your stuff. So that's something you need to deal with right now.
This feels very
dear.
ridiculous / panicky, but I also kind of get it. If you're going to look at the mold of basically Lily does not know how to deal with, again, where Regina brought up going, you're not going to bring any man in your life. But again, I'm saying I personally really don't like where they keep bringing up things only because they are in reference to a stressor at the moment. Like, you have all this money in reference to Lily suddenly already being told that she has no money.
Right.
The thing about going, this thing about Luke, why are you going over to the house?
And now immediately, but he might still be involved with his wife, or I can't date him because his wife is now my friend.
It feels, like, I understand it's a story. I totally get it. They're trying to bring your attention to various different things.
Does it feel episodic?
Yes, actually, it does. There's no overarching, basically, story as a whole, other than basically get this garden done, which is fine, I guess, but it also gets frustrating, because you really could carry through plenty of these points for much longer. You can have arcs that don't need to last for a day.
I get so frustrated with how much of the art I really like, and then how much of the fact that I hate things, like it's on top of the steps here with this pillar.
To hate is a pretty strong word,
okay,
but it's true.
Sorry,
it is deeply frustrating.
Hate is not correct, but and I've already dangerous mold. This just kind of thing bothers me. That was the dangerous mold one.
I know, but I'm like,
And Blaine, there's also Blaine with no shoes on. Jeez. Regina would kill me if she found out he was there. No,
why would
she? Because I don't understand how friendship works, and I genuinely have never had friends before.
I mean, honestly, that could be really interesting as a character point of being like, she really is.
We are going to replace them. We're not going to paint them. I need a paintbrush to replace the pillars.
Holy shit.
Why would we explore the new area before we replace the pillars? Why is that here?
I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. So, what do you want the pillars to look like?
Yeah, you know what? That's really important, and we should be talking about that. Also, I don't want them
done that way earlier
on the ramp of the railing kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like sliding off.
This one's cracking and sliding down it. Good thing we replaced it before we did the pillars.
Please treat your wood when you replace it. Oh my God.
I was thinking.
I don't have a frustration with the porch.
This is not a paintbrush, my dudes. This is not a paintbrush.
Whoa,
Holy
that's
crap.
like sliding down. Whoa.
Okay, so that
that also is cracked. Like some of it is
cracked.
Still
splitting in that one, and also you're still missing the other ones over here.
Why are there so many splits? No, but it's charming. No, actually, it makes
it is just the sidewalk's on the wrong layer. It's missing on all of them.
Oh no, that's fascinating.
Right.
Also, you know what bugs me though too? So here, so see how this one is actually on the edge,
Stops
and then this
at the
slides
edge.
down, but it's like no, it's totally on a flat surface.
It's an
and I'm
Escher experience.
Yeah, I'm like
this goes down, but it doesn't. This one also comes out a lot farther than the other one. Again, I'm not meaning to critique the artist here. I understand they worked very hard, and a lot of this is extremely charming.
And a lot of it is like limitations of basically your engine and where you're trying to put stuff in.
But sometimes it's just really frustrating to look at it and go, the two things do not work well together.
It's okay.
It's okay. So I was going to go with the bamboo one because I don't want blue, and the wood does not please me. All right, done. We'll use one bamboo in your excitement over bamboo. Yeah, that's fine, I guess, Regina. Fine. Thanks.
Any reason you're being weird? Do you need to talk about something?
But I'm afraid you won't like me anymore if I have real life experiences and I'm not what I think your version of perfect or good is. I'm afraid if I'm not fully recovered from the issues that you understand that I've had in the past and never have a backslide or another challenge again, you won't like me anymore because I haven't made the progress.
Honestly,
in the progress.
I feel like also in that way, I have been like more and more kind of frustrated basically with Regina's sort of character type. I have expressed that I don't like the fact that suddenly, to me, she seems to strongly dislike her husband. And like even though going, oh, you know, husbands are super useless. Like I don't like that.
At the
especially
beginning,
being
she seemed
tied
super
to,
excited about him.
Right.
Like it was a shift.
Right, or like she didn't really bring him up, and then when she really started more bringing him up, it was more of a thing going, yeah, men are useless, aren't they?
Well, what I remember is going home to hubby, heading home to hubby, gotta get home to my hubby.
Right.
And it's really charming, sort of, it feels like, yeah I want to go see my hubby.
And she's really kind of actually delighted by it. Yeah, no, I remember that. I'm just like,
and then
but it started
any
weird.
detail is dunking on him.
Yep, and now it's more like, it's just like, especially in reference to the fact of where she seems pretty balanced, because so there is definitely that strong, that stupid stereotype of the strong, independent black woman thing who don't need no man kind of thing, and it's really bothersome. Plus, I also don't like the fact more and more now that I'm looking at this, she's gotten more and more sassy as it's gone on, of like they weren't sure what to do with her, and she slid more and more basically into a character trope, and I don't like it. It feels very much in a box, like it's slowly, she's, like they're like, well, we don't know what to do with her other than basically make now Lily more and more afraid of disappointing her, because she's so strong and
she's
so capable.
Together and so cool.
And I'm like, Regina is not. Even the fact of like Regina mentioning like maybe like it's not a bad thing that Regina potentially has marital issues. That's fine. Like people do, shockingly. And going to therapy is a good thing, whether for yourself or for you and your relationship, or both.
Yeah.
Like, actually, most of the time they suggest that when you're getting couples or marriage therapy, you get therapy for yourself. Because you also need support independently of the marriage, because you are not defined by and exclusively only in reference to your marriage, by the way, or your relationship.
Your entire identity is not a spouse.
So that's where I'm like, I am personally kind of frustrated more and more, actually, where Regina, like, I appreciate, like, having sort of like that idea of having the friend who's the strong one who will be there for you, who will support you kind of thing. But I also don't really like in that way of where it is, honestly, again, only just a black woman. And number two, the friend, like, that is Regina, she really never has her own problems. It was the thing that came up in the Easter event, right? Yeah. Where Regina literally was not allowed to be upset that it was also her Betsy that had also died.
And her event that she had lost, her Easter celebration that she'd been to,
and that she was doing this for a pair of grumpy-ass old men and not part of her life.
For herself and her own memories at all.
At all. And, like, I've been noticing this, and it bothers me. It feels almost like sort of a weird microaggression of just being like, Regina's not allowed to be a whole and complete person because she's too strong for that. She's too sassy. She's too powerful. She's too
contained, because people who are contained and powerful and capable don't have emotions, and I'm not talking about anyone specific.
No, not at all.
All right.
I just...
no. Not today.
Okay, well, you know I'm here.
Yeah.
Want to decorate the arch?
Oh, sure. Yes, please.
Hi. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you feel like you have anything to say, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to like. Please feel free to subscribe. We are still trying to deal with the algorithm, and it's an experience, and that is not your fault at all. That is just a thing that we are aware of, and if you can do that, that would be super awesome. Yep. So thank you very much for joining us. If you also want to support us more directly, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon if you'd like to sponsor a game, or just tip us because you like us, which would be super cool. Other than that, I have been Scandal.
And also, if you... I had it and I lost it. No.
Oh,
It's going to be very, very tiny. It's like, basically, if you are new to our channel, hello, hi, welcome. If you are new to our channel and this is one of your first exposures, we do post every single day.
Yep.
So if you want a whole lot of content, or if you're just interested in following one of our series, please do subscribe and you will get it regularly. We are super predictable.
Yes.
At least we try. Anyway, I have been Liz.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye.